So could I ask you what your name is and what your connection is with North Kilworth?
Good morning, I'm Mike SOUTHAM. I'm a parish councillor for North Kilworth.
Okay, well I can imagine that's been quite a complicated experience, lockdown, for a parish councillor. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, it's not been possible to have our normal meetings because of the lockdown and all the restrictions. But in fact, we've only missed one meeting because since May, we've been able to conduct the meetings by Zoom.
Okay.
It's not as good as having the meetings in person, but we're still able to meet and we're still able to have members of the public attend our meetings.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. So you've been doing the parish council meetings by Zoom. How have you found that?
It's a bit difficult, really. You can't conduct a normal conversation. There's a bit of a delay on the feed and it's stilted and difficult, but we're getting by, we're getting used to it now.
Okay, good. And what are you aware of have been the big things that have happened in the village during lockdown?
Well, people have continued to be very concerned about traffic issues, particularly the speed of vehicles on the A4304 and actually to a lesser extent on South Kilworth Road. And there's a lot of new people coming into the village, new houses on South Kilworth Road, and there are other developments that are planned and that are likely to happen at Pinsent Lane and down on Station Road. So there's a lot of concern about the traffic issues. Of course, the village has tried to fight these battles with the county council to try and get measures to attenuate the speed of vehicles and to try and control things better, and so far we haven't succeeded. But I think with the numbers of people coming into the village, it's a battle we still must try and fight, and we must have another go. One thing we wanted to try and do this year was to conduct a community speed watch scheme. This would involve volunteers with equipment provided by the police, monitoring the speed of vehicles, and then producing some records of average speeds and so on. We would only have been able to do that in South Kilworth Road because of the existence of other measures that are taken on the A4304, but in fact it was planned that we'd go ahead with it, but it had to stop because of COVID-19.
Okay.
So that didn't go ahead, and that's a shame.
Okay. So Mike, what else has been an issue for the parish council during lockdown?
Well, this year in particular, in the Millennium Green where we're standing this morning, there's been concern about a restriction placed by the Millennium Green trustees on the exercising of dogs without leads. They've said now it mustn't happen. There's been a lot of concern about that, and to be fair, there are views on both sides of the problem. So we've been looking to see if we can find an alternative way of solving this problem. So there are possibilities that we're looking at of other areas in the village that might be used for exercising dogs not on a lead, because there are plenty of people who are concerned about the Millennium Green being used in that way.
Okay. Any other things that have happened in the community during lockdown?
We were able to organise a community litter pick. There was a bit of a delay on that because of COVID, because we hired the equipment from Harborough District Council, and to start with they weren't hiring it out, but then things changed and they decided that they would. So we were able to do that in the early part of October, and it was a success. We had 10 volunteers, we covered all the main roads and all the village, and we accumulated quite a lot of rubbish that we were able to collect and which the council has taken away. It's a good event, you know, lots of people got involved, and it was good fun actually, although it did rain eventually in the late morning, but it was good.
So Mike, how has lockdown affected you personally?
Well, I'm retired, so I don't have to go to work. And in the early part, when it was total lockdown, I was doing a lot of jobs around the house, outside in particular, painting and projects in the garden that I was able to pursue. I got a lot done. Then I ran out of jobs, and now I've got some more to do. But so that's how I've been coping, really. Getting exercise, doing jobs, and eventually we were able to play a bit of golf. So I play golf, and that so that was a good release.
So what about this lockdown 2 that as we stand poised at the end at the beginning of November, we're heading into lockdown 2. How are you thinking about that?
Everything stops, I think, pretty much. We can't go out for meals, for sure. It'll be very much like the start of lockdown back in March. We'll have to just make do and sit it out, I think. But we're confident that, well, some of us are confident anyway, that it's going to end quickly.